we got once again Mr. Phone, Andrew Kitto over here.
Mr. Phone, Andrew Kitto.
Is it Tinder?
No, this is called texting.
Oh, you got next level with it, huh?
Yeah,
you finally got there. Okay.
Yeah.
Do we need to give him a round of applause or something like that?
If you want to, I would.
Well, there's not much of an audience
I wouldn't hate to.
in front of us now.
And then we got Mr. Lap Car over here, Kyle Shipley.
Well, I'm not a lapped car.
Oh.
If I'm a lapped car, I'm thinking about pulling off.
Would you pull off if you were getting lapped?
I've run the limited
Have
series
you ever been
engine.
lapped?
Yeah, I've run my limited series engine with the higher ranks, and yes, I've been lapped.
Like in a 410 race?
Like in a 410 race with a 360, yes.
Where did that happen?
Canyon Speedway Park. I was driving the Tanner Grau owned Western Diversified. Actually, cut that out. It's not Western Diversified.
What is it?
Western Premier Hauling. And
Was you thinking about transgenders or something?
No.
Diversified?
no.
What's he got on his mind?
The last thing I think about is
Diversified?
transgenders.
Oh, okay.
It's all he thinks
And
about.
this Tanner Grau,
Anyways.
he's kind of like a bitch, right? Or something? What's
Well, he's not a big fan of yours, but I think he's actually coming around.
Well,
He's starting to come around on you.
He's supposed to be on the table this week, and he punked out or something.
I told Tanner that we'd like to have him on the show.
And he's just a little bitch. you know?
Nah, Tanner's not a little bitch. Tanner's actually like pretty manly. Tanner's very manly.
You know what they say about the real manly ones, you know?
But Tanner races like a bitch. No, I'm
Oh,
just
wow.
kidding. I'm just kidding. Tanner.
No.
I'm just kidding,
sounds
Tanner.
Like, is that why
I'm really just kidding,
Is that why he
Tanner.
puts guys in his car? 'Cause
Wow.
he can't put his car in the rat guy?
No, he puts guys in his car when he knows he's gonna make some money.
Oh, so it's a whole thing.
That's why he didn't put me in his car. Well, he put me in his car with a 360 and a 410, but I mean,
Just make you look bad.
no, we were just making laps. We were just kind of. It was a brand new car. We put it together. We just wanted to. It was kind of more or
Shake it
less
down.
a practice session, if you will.
And you're messing with weeds or something like that now? You're plucking the weed?
Yeah. Been cutting weeds for 3 days.
Oh, wow. Did you get contact high at all or what?
No, I wish it wouldn't have been so bad.
I do the Uber Eats.
Natural weeds in the desert.
Well, what I'm saying is
Right.
like,
Right. Unfortunately. Yeah.
I didn't know if y'all had like legal weed or anything like that because I walked into a store the other day to deliver some Uber Eats. You know, I'd be getting it on. I'd be slinging that Uber all day. You know? And I go off into this place. It has like 3 security guards at the door and it's all tinted windows. I'm like, what the fuck am I going into, bro? Is this a porn shoot or what the fuck? So I get in there and it's
awesome to walk into.
I mean, it smells. I mean, I know. I was kind of excited in a way, but I was kind of worried.
You got
it's
let
like,
down.
You don't know what you're walking into. And yeah, it was. I smelled fucking hardcore weed, and I was like, well, I mean,
Where were you?
hopefully it's legal.
Where were you?
It was like southern Scots. It's like southeastern Scottsdale. It was a uppity place.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't follow the whole weed scene.
I don't either, but
I just know
you
that
brought up weeds.
I know there's a drive-through. I know there's a drive-through weed store right up the road. It's called All Greens, kind of like Walgreens, but it's All Greens, and it has a green sign. And
Did they really play off Walgreens all the way? Like the writing's the same and.
no, the writing's not the same, but it's green and it's.
For those bum ass stoners.
Well, see, we're really close to Sun City, which is where all the old people live.
So they're the ones that's racking up on that shit.
They're the ones that are racking up the bill over there at All Greens.
They are.
They're keeping All Greens
No.
in business.
The old people are like, fuck it, I've been told my whole life that it's bad, but I'm gonna die soon anyway.
I've seen the drive-through like 7 cars deep. Driving by, I'm like,
With all gray hair.
well, my vision isn't that good, so
Fucking working man
it's
can't
probably
afford
a
weed no more.
solid.
I know, right?
mix.
Hey, when you look into that stuff, that's really kind of what it's doing. Like the prices on it's like unreal. From what I've heard, like
They keep talking about that they're hoping that if the government regulate the weed, then it'll take it off the black market, but not if you're fucking selling it for 3 times the price.
right.
It's not gonna
Then
matter.
People will just grow it on their own. Or,
Tyler Walker can afford it.
Hey,
Oh,
boy.
wow.
Tyler Walker can afford a lot of things a lot better than weed.
Well, yeah.
And still whoop ass.
He whoops ass.
There's a lot of people out here in the racing world that dabble into the weed and dabble into a lot of things. Obviously, so many people drink, but you hear the Adderall claim all the time, which, I mean, that's methamphetamine. I mean, it's an amphetamine.
Let me tell you something.
It's a pill form of meth.
If I wasn't drug tested so often, I'd be one of those race car drivers.
Well, wouldn't you still pass if you were taking Adderall? I mean,
No,
it's a
because
prescription drug.
Yeah, but it's not prescribed to me.
Well, I know, but I'm saying if it was, because from what I've heard, all you gotta do is go in and say you have this wrong and that wrong, and that's like one of the first things they give you.
I don't know. Well, even if that's the case, when it comes to hauling gas, even if it's a prescribed drug, but it can affect any type of way you're driving at all, they just lay you off until you're off of it. That's it.
They lay you off or they fire you?
Well, a little bit of both. They'll say, okay.
If you were for me, I'd just fire your ass.
They say, okay, well, you can take this time off while you're on this medication, and then if you come back,
Why would you fire
not,
someone for prescription drugs if it's prescribed to them for something that may be wrong with them?
Adderall, because...
I mean, it's still...
Are you asking him personally?
Yeah, well, he said because I would fire your ass, so...
I guess I was still kind of stuck on the whole weed thing, but, I mean, if you're...
So, in your mind, weed is worse than Adderall or methamphetamine, or...
Well, no, it's not. Honestly, I'm very naive to the whole drug situation.
Which is good.
He's
any
never
drug.
done any drug in his life.
I've never done any... Well, Coors
Alcohol
Light.
and
Coors Light is
that's
like my number one drug,
That
if you
doesn't
will.
count.
Yeah.
You could always jump over to the Michelob Ultra Organic.
Yeah,
Organic.
Pure
Non-alcoholic
gold.
It's gotta be
beer.
good.
Pure gold. Pure gold.
I might as well say like Bush NA.
It don't have cat piss in it.
Bush
You
NA.
know, when they made
Bush
the,
NA.
when they made the barley. You
Bush
know,
NA.
yeah.
Same thing.
Non-alcoholic.
Anheuser-Busch, but if
What's the percentage?
You said it last time. It was like 3.7.
3.8.
Yeah.
What's the
fucking
percentage
apple
on
juice.
y'all's little deal?
4.2.
Shit, I knew they were getting somewhere. Fucking assholes.
And that costs twice as much as what this does.
Well, it don't cost
Yeah,
as much
probably.
as that rear end you
But look at
broke.
the label. That label's real
I didn't
fancy.
break a rear end.
Yeah, you did.
No, it's not broken.
Oh, what is it?
It just needs some maintenance.
Why don't
Luckily-
you maintenance it?
Well, that's... I'm maintaining it. I'm doing maintenance on it. And luckily, my friend Dave Thorpe taught me all I need to know about rear ends. So I don't have to take it to anybody.
Who's Dave Thorpe?
Dave Thorpe is a man who's been in sprint car racing since sometime in the 1960s. He started out of California, and he's kind of been a, we'll just call him a crew chief. Well, he's been a crew chief.
Does he build it with motorcycle parts like they used back in?
He was into motorcycle racing back in the day, but no, these rear ends are not built with motorcycle parts.
A lot of the
Dave-
dirt track stuff was like that. Like it was very innovative. Like it wasn't like there wasn't
Yeah, the good
there
old
wasn't
days.
parts made for the car.
Yeah, like if you needed a left rear torsion arm, you built your left rear torsion arm. You didn't call it BR Motorsports and order one.
Yeah. That's a big problem in racing now. Everybody's like, well, that's
You
what
built
that
your
guy
own
does.
body panels.
That's what that guy does, so it must be the way to do it. That's all bullshit.
Capitalism.
Race car drivers are followers.
Capitalism.
No, race car drivers are followers.
Capitalism.
They're all followers. They'll spend a you know, how much is in a sprint car your gear lever? How much does that cost?
I don't know, somewhere between $75 and $125.
Okay,
Like for the actual deal that you pull up and down.
Yeah.
The whole billet piece.
Yeah, the whole billet piece.
I think it's somewhere between $75 and $125.
Okay.
I don't.
$75 to
somewhere in there.
$125 is something you can make in one afternoon for $15 in your garage. Stupid.
You could make it, but it's much more quality piece. That billet piece.
Why? Because they said so?
No, it's more.
We could.
It's billet aluminum. It's much more. It's quality.
We could call up Alan today. Say make me this for $20, and it'll be the exact same piece.
Because
and
he has
turn
the
it
right
on his
parts
mill.
and pieces.
He'll turn it on his mill.
Right. It's probably like laser
Well, I mean, I
cut,
experienced the same thing with
I
like
don't understand. That's what I don't understand about racing is, you know, you try to think of a random idea, an idea like, hey, I wonder if this will work, and some guy's just like, no, that won't work. Well, why not? Because that's not the way they do it. Who gives a shit? Who cares? It's so stupid. There needs to be a little bit more hot rodding in racing these days. Like it was back in the 60s with Dave Thorpe and all these guys are like, oh, let's try this. Let's try independent suspension in the front and all that.
The only hot rodding you see now is with setup, like setting the car up a certain way, or you think you figured out a trick here, it's not really in the components.
Or you've got like Damian Gardner with the headers that come up instead of down.
Right, he tried something.
Which he's gone away from that.
That's fine. You can find out it doesn't work, but he tried something.
He tried something, yeah.
But then you were...
And how cool was that? Everybody was like, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, Ramey did it in Texas too. They called them Longhorn headers.
Ramey's pretty innovative. I know he built that mini sprint.
But you do have to have, I mean, maybe a little lever's $15 in your garage, but a lot of this shit you got to have equipment to do stuff now. Like you got to have, you got to have.
You have to have a
equipment.
CNC to make this billet gear lever.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe I've just grown up around the equipment and I don't cross into that path, but there's just a lot of things that I just don't understand.
You let off as followers, though. Racers are followers.
Yeah, they are.
And see, that's my idea.
They are.
You see this Ford engine, not to get off topic too much, we're kind of got a topic, but the Ford engine that Tony Stewart and them is building, I completely think what they're going to do is build a badass motor. It's going to be super fucking... I mean, it's going to do real well numbers-wise. Tony Stewart ain't going to let it throw in that car unless it's something special, you know? And Donnie Schatz is going to go out there, and he's kind of been... It's weird how he's kind of been mid-pack this year. I guarantee they throw that fucking Ford in there, and by God or whatever, he's just going to start laying some out.
Just wax some ass. He's just going to wax some ass.
And then they're going to do the old bait and switch TRD with their motor. You know, now a Ford's going to be $100,000. You want the Ford? $100,000.
Yeah, but see, you know what my problem with that is? Is Tony and Schatz and all these guys will start waxing ass with Fords, and you're going to start seeing Fords all over the place, and nobody's going to know why. Why did you switch? Well, because
that's what's winning.
But they're
that's
just
what's winning
they're just gonna say, oh, it's fast, it's winning. Yeah, but why? Tell me why. Give me some fucking substance. Like what? Don't just go off of what they're doing and what that guy says is right.
Well, they're gonna go off numbers on the dyno and all this shit.
Yeah, but you can make any dyno say whatever you want it to say.
And then just to go down that whole fucking path of, oh, this one's a Ford, this one's a Chevy. Listen, these are billet blocks. Okay, the only thing that's changing is where the distributor is. One's in the front, one's in the fucking back. Otherwise, they're all just coming out of some guy's head that just put a billet in it, and he instead of having the exhaust ports 2 here and 2 here that's even down, it just looks like a Ford. That's it.
Well, I think it has to do with obviously Stewart's NASCAR ties. So he's trying to get on board with Ford and the sprint car stuff because they're doing so much in NASCAR.
Not to mention they're going to pay for it all.
They're going to, I don't know about pay for it all, because I think there's some investors in it, because I think there's going to be some money to be made. Well, they're going to charge $100,000 for that fucking Ford motor.
That's true, but
Tony's not going to pay $100,000.
Well, I mean,
that motor's going to basically be free. Hey,
it's just like,
be our guinea pig.
You think Donnie
be our
pays,
guinea pig.
You think Donnie pays full price for J&J's?
Right. No.
Or any of it?
They're handed over.
A lot of the outlaw drivers
Donnie doesn't pay for anything. Donnie just collects a check.
And that's what I've heard. A lot of the national names, just in general, not even just light or sprint car racing, but a lot of the national names, if you're not going to give it to me, I don't want it. Like with a lot of things. Fire suits, I mean...
You think Brady pays anything for Triple X chassis?
No.
Gets all that for free?
Yeah.
Well, and Triple X is kind of Oklahoma based. That's where he's from.
Well, you know.
Triple X isn't Oklahoma based.
I thought it was.
No, they're out of Washington.
They have one in Oklahoma.
They probably have a dealer in Oklahoma. They have dealers all over.
It's pretty big over there.
No, they're 100%. Well, to some of the viewers, they might be China based, but
I was gonna say they're really China based, but
really China based.
But no, Washington is where they're out of.
Okay, that's right. Blew my mind for a second, but yeah, Triple X is. I mean, what do you think of those cars? I mean, they run well.
I think they're fine. I think you've seen a lot of success.
The Made in China deal kind of like is like a label that you give those cars. That kind of hurts it.
I personally don't. I don't see anything wrong with those cars. I've noticed that there's a whole lot more success in the winged sprint car deal rather than non-wing. Not to say that you can't make a Triple X work great with a non-wing, but Brady Bacon's kind of like the only name we'll just say. Brady Bacon is the Donnie Shots for Triple X.
Right.
Other than that, like who else? Well, we'll just say national name runs a Triple X that's been successful.
Not too many. I think Brian Monteith used to run him. I don't know if he does anymore.
I don't know. Since I left that Eastern scene, I haven't really
Reitzel
followed
does.
him. Yeah, Reitzel does.
Think.
Yeah, I think he does too.
So I think.
I'm pretty sure he does.
Would you say Reitzel's a bigger name than Bacon?
No.
No, he's
way.
not a big. No way.
Even though
no.
he's all-star champion, all
No,
that.
no. I would not say Reitzel's a bigger.
Talent-wise, definitely not either.
Talent-wise, definitely not.
He's from Texas. I always harp on Reitzel because he's kind of the example I would give most people as to how good local racers are. Because there's like 3 or 4 guys in Houston where he's from that are just as good as him. Beat him several times. Look how many people beat him on the ASCS National Tour. And he's where he is because, he got hooked up with old Herrera knocker outer there of Josh Botman,
Right.
And Botman with the connections he has all the money in the world behind him, and that's why he's where he is. What I'm saying is when you see Aaron Reitzel win an outlaw race or win an All-Star Circuit of Champions title, there's 20 guys I can name off the top of my head that can do just as good as him. It's just his equipment that he's got.
I'm not gonna say Reitzel doesn't have.
I mean,
talent.
he's got talent. I'm not saying I only said 3 or 4.
But there's guys out there with more talent than him for sure.
Who's some besides the
Brady
names?
Bacon. Like some
The ones that
Rick Zeal. Rick Zeal
you
has more
think
talent
Rick
than he
Zeal
does.
has more talent than Aaron Reitzel?
If Rick Zeal doesn't have more talent, then it's because Rick Zeal has aged.
You said talent, not chest hair.
Not Chester.
He said talent.
Rick Zeal wins all the racers over that one.
I don't know. Never paid much attention to the man's
you got a
chest
lot of
hair.
I know. I was like, I don't know if he'd be idolizing him or what,
Well, I get a lot of people love my hair.
But a lot of people probably like Rick Zeal's hair.
Right.
Chest hair.
Yeah. Like them old younger girls are like, man, none of these younger dudes have hair like that. I want to try him out.
I don't understand. I don't understand how you both know about Rick Zeal's chest hair.
I got told about it.
Because it pops out of his
fire suit.
out of his fire suit.
Well,
You're just not in the pits that much, I guess.
no, pits suck. Unless you're racing, the pits are junk. I hate the pits.
I'm in the pits all the time.
If I'm at the racetrack and I'm not racing, I'm at the racetrack, so I want to watch the races.
Smart guy had a fucking set of tires waiting on him. This is the only tires he's changing out, NASCAR people.
These are the only tires I can afford.
Oh God, you can't afford tires?
Hell no, I can't afford tires.
So you just race on old ones?
At $250 for a right rear, no, I cannot afford
The
a
very
every
first
race.
race-
Now, could you
won.
make your own tires?
The very first race he won, probably Sammy kind of did it.
He make your own tires?
He redesigned.
Well,
he redesigned the tires.
Did you
back
hear the
in
story
70s.
about Swindell, like back in the day at Indianapolis? Apparently, I don't know how accurate the story is, but this is what I fucking heard. So he was at, I think it was Indianapolis, somewhere a race shop around there, and he was actually grooving like the drag tires because they didn't really have purpose-built dirt track tires at the time. And then the guy from Goodyear saw him fucking grooving these drag tires, and then that's how kind of dirt car tires or sprint car tires started getting made.
Well, the whole block pattern on rear sprint car tires. Before that, they were like the front tires on a micro. That real wide, block kind of Z-shaped. Sammy's the one that started all that. Sammy started cutting them into block patterns, and racers, being the followers they are, were like, oh wow, it's working for him, so I'll try it. See, the thing is you're getting stuck on them saying that they're followers because they won't make their own stuff. I mean, just try something. Just come up with your own original thought and try something different. Travis tries stuff. Travis does stuff on his car that nobody else is doing because he's at least thinking. Spike, when they came out with the midgets with the fucking panels on the left side that are all whacked up. So there's a lot of people that are like, oh, it makes no difference. That don't make no difference. Why? What the fuck do you know? Apparently it does because it's working. It's just come up with your own original thoughts. It's so fucking annoying.
What about so when Rick Zill pulled his wing back
That was cool. I love
But
way
that's
back.
not really doing anything new. It's like everybody else started doing something new by leaving them forward when it slips off.
But because that's an old school move that it's new now.
And if you're me, you forget about it.
There's a lot of people.
Yeah, you forget to move your wing.
I could have moved the wing back.
Well, they had to see.
I mean, there's lots of times I'm in the non-wing car and I'm like, man, I wish I could move this wing back a little bit tighter. I need some forward off this corner.
For instance, Chili Bowl, okay? Basically do whatever you want at the Chili Bowl.
Well, that's the innovation event.
When is the day going to come? I want to see somebody try to put air ride on a midget in the Chili Bowl.
Well, did you see that?
You want to make onboard adjustments? Put airbags on a midget. You're going to see some serious fucking onboard adjustments at the Chili Bowl.
Did you see the V8?
Nobody's thought of it.
The V8?
Yeah, the
Michael Pickens.
Yeah, the New Zealand guys are
Yeah,
everywhere.
Michael Pickens and what's the other?
Yeah, those are my kind of dudes. They were like, fuck all this. I mean, this shit's been the same for, generations. Let's try something fucking different.
And then I think they outlawed it now.
They outlawed it. They said, nope, that's it.
That's badass.
They were lucky that they even got to race that race.
That's just badass, though.
Tesla
Like,
might have wanted to get into
it is
this
badass.
as well.
Like I got outlawed. My shit was so dope that they outlawed me.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool.
That's
Well, I mean, you
how
did bring a
Stockton.
V8 to a 4-cylinder race.
well, that's what they said. Well, no, but it was. It had
was
8 cylinders.
8 cylinders.
But it was like
within
little
the
bitty,
same number
I mean-
of cubic inches.
Yeah, I mean, it was the same displacement. It just had 8 cylinders.
right.
But the Chili Bowl's problem with that was like what they were scared of. That they said was that they were scared that people were now going to start trying to figure out how to put sprint car midgets or motors and midgets.
If
Which,
you could,
in my opinion, if they can do it, fucking let them.
Why are we not doing that today?
If you can keep it, they should have just set a width and length rule. Where the
Right.
engine can't hang out the side, or you got to be 20 or 12 or 5 inches from the chassis bars on each end.
Right. If you can keep it in this area, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, that's what it should be.
Show us what you got.
I would like to see an electronic one.
Hashtag Tesla.
I've already
Hashtag
tried. I've
fucking-
emailed Elon Musk and they visited my profile. I tried to.
Oh god, but that would just ruin it for me. The sound, the smell. It's
No.
all gone.
To see them versus, I think that's why they checked me
Versus
out.
Toyota.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They'd
I'm like, I
smoke it.
told Tessa, I'm like, this is the one race where you can actually go up against motorized vehicles. Like you could use that.
See, it's an interesting on a hammer down racetrack. An electric car would smoke us. It's instant torque. It's right there. It doesn't go
That's what I
away.
thought.
Now when it slicks
But
off,
would you be able to? But would you be like?
Well, how
would-
much traction control can you use? Because there's cars out there with traction control.
well, yeah, but
Would
nobody's
you be
supposed
able to
know it.
control that car if it's instant torque?
Right, that's
It
a
would
big
be
deal
hard.
too.
It
I
would
think
be hard.
it
It'd be a wheelie king.
It would be a wheelie motherfucker.
Honestly, I think
Enter
it would
that into the wheelie contest.
Yeah, no shit.
because of that, I think you would have to have traction control on one of those cars.
Yeah, but then what
to regulate
what do
the
gas cars
actual
do?
torque.
Like, what do the fuel cars do then? Are they allowed to run traction control?
Nope.
Yeah,
They're gonna have to
no,
buy
you
elec-
can run.
They're gonna have to buy an electric vehicle.
It is 100% legal to run traction control at the Chili Bowl.
It would cost a fortune to
There's
have an electric.
basically-
I mean, I've already been
Chili Bowl.
told everyone that's running in there's got stuff.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to.
And they got a 1 through 5. Oh, no, it's 100% legal to run traction control at the Chili Bowl. There's no rules.
Is that really?
Yeah,
I didn't know
it's
that.
a 100% outlaw event. You want to run fucking traction control? You're allowed.
Well, these guys are running out here.
You are limiting your power when you run traction control.
Well, the good traction control has a 1 through 5 setting, kind of like Formula 1,
right.
where you can, if it's tacky, you turn it almost all the way off. If it gets a little loose, then you crank it down. So you'll see some cars kind of change how they handle in the middle of a race, and some people say it's adjusting all that, but really they're setting that traction control setting to where the car will either grip up more or not as much.
Did you know that late models have a toggle switch to their left front brake? That thing turn that brake on or off. That's fucking badass.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's bitchin'. That's pretty cool.
The coolest traction control video I've ever saw was a late mile, and they did a test at like a 3/8 mile track, tacky, all that, and the guys running laps, and it did one without, and it sounded like a late mile, wah wah, fucking what it regularly sounds like.
Wait,
Then
say
they-
it again. What do they sound
Wah
like?
wah wah wah.
That sounds like traction control.
No, I was.
Oh no,
it's hitting the
that's hitting the cushion and bouncing off and yeah.
like wah 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 wah. wah. No.
Sounds better in a modified.
So he put shut the fuck up.
Way better than.
So they put the traction control on. So they put the traction control on, and around the. This is what I deal with, ladies. I thought I was staying in Arizona.
It's being like Disneyland. Teacups.
Give me a yellow flag already. Give me a yellow flag.
Just give me the yellow before anybody spins out so we can get it over with.
Sounds like that micro race.
That micro race, what was it, 4 or 5 laps?
It was about five laps, yeah.
If that.
Should we talk about little tracks
We
in
might as
Arizona?
well. I just got cut off. Let's go.
I'm sorry, and I've been all over your nuts about getting fucking.
You've been all over his
too.
nuts. Oh,
Go ahead, finish your thought. I'm sorry.
He lost it.
Anyway, with traction control on, some bitch never got over 5,000 RPMs and turned 7/10 second faster laps. Even on the straightaways, it never went full throttle.
That sounds like a longevity deal too. You could make a engine last a lot longer if you're only turning 6,000 RPMs.
So let's talk about this micro race. Y'all brought it up. Of course, we all
Y'all.
to Casa Grande over here, and he's talking about being on my nuts.
Well, not specifically the race, just micro racing in general in Arizona, and not even the racing, the little tracks. The little tracks are. I don't even know the word.
You're not like secretly making fun of my small penis, are you?
No.
Okay.
No. But now I might.
You said little
The small
tracks.
micro tracks in Arizona suck. That is a piss break before the sprint cars go on,
what
or
it
even
is.
the modifieds.
You know, there used to be
The bombers
The
aren't.
bomb.
I don't know. They were 4 wide the other night.
big.
They
deal.
were kind of the race.
That's like watching a snail race.
It
It's
is
not-
pretty
going 4
bad.
wide.
It is pretty bad.
But even when a bomber goes 4 wide, they didn't do it on purpose. It's not like they put it there. It just kind of ended up there.
they just
Yeah.
put in that direction.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, it's just like the car was pointed there. There's just a lot of. Next thing you know, they're 4 wide. It's not on purpose. Friday night racing. Arizona needs to go to Friday, Saturday night racing, because you know you brought up. Well, I don't know if you're gonna put the video out or not.
I am.
About the hippity hoppity whatever the fuck it
The
was.
hippity hoppity Easter.
Let
Hippity
me tell you
hoppity
something. Bullshit.
Easter.
You can't.
Hippity hoppity bullshit. That's what it is.
You cannot. Arizona's got to get away from this motherfucking 5 division a night racing. If you're gonna do 5 divisions a night, you cannot be filling space with.
They're trying to
fucking-
pay their fucking bills. Look at the stands.
Well, that's what I'm getting
Pit
to.
passes.
I
The
think,
stands look like that because they got 5.
No.
Yes.
Yes,
When does it
Yes.
fill up?
absolutely. You will
When
have.
does it fill up?
you
It
will-
doesn't because nobody wants to sit through 5 classes of bombers.
And half the stands, it looked like, was nothing but family members from the races. Or racers.
That's what they are.
That's
And
what
that's
I'm
why we
gonna
run
say.
so many modified divisions.
So you have 5 divisions a night. You got 2 divisions of modifies, and you got pure stocks, and you got fucking bombers.
So it has nothing to
So
do
you
with
got-
the relevance or anything like that.
No, it
We're
absolutely
saying
has
it's
to do.
all class.
If you moved stock cars in your bullshit classes to Fridays, and you had Saturday night racing to sprint cars, wing, non-wing, late models, I'll even throw modifieds in there just
you
to show
just
some
added
love.
up like 40 grand in money.
Listen, you
But
will
you're
have more
bringing
people.
$60,000.
You will have more people show up to the races on Saturday because the only people that are showing up, you know, the argument is well, we're going to lose money because people that come for the pure stocks and all that aren't going to show up Saturday. Who gives a fuck? The only people that are showing up for pure stocks, bombers, and all that are family. That's it. There is not a pure stock fan. There is not a pure.
That's a good point.
There is not a pure stock fan.
But
there is
there's
not
not.
a
It's a
bomber
purse
fan.
payer. I mean, that's all this shit is.
So you get new
just said,
fans.
hold on, what'd you want to run Saturday?
You can run all your sprint car divisions.
Well,
can,
what is that?
well,
Name your classes for Saturday.
You got the Santan Ford ASCS, whatever the fuck it is.
Okay, so non-wing sprint car.
You got your non-wing sprint cars, your wing sprint
wing
cars.
sprint car.
We can run mod lights on Saturdays.
Mod lights. Why are you throwing them in there? They ain't
Mod
got a
lights-
fan base.
Mod light.
It's a lot of family.
No, wipe out the mod lights, put the mini sprints in. Make it all an all open wheel show.
Well, we do until
Well, I
we
think he
get
even said late models too.
late models. Put the late models in there. I mean, we don't have any, but Don Shaw's
So-
my boy. I'll show up for Don Shaw. He can be out there by himself. I'll show up for Don Shaw.
But that's like a $40,000 purse to run a weekly race.
$40,000 purse.
Add up what you just added up. What are you going to pay the sprint cars to win?
It's probably to win. Ours is only 800 to win.
Yeah.
Well, 800. What is it to start?
140.
140. So that's like 4,500. What are you going to pay wing sprints?
I'm not saying change your purse at all.
Well, I know. What are you going to pay Wing Sprints?
Let's
I'm
just
just
say-
adding up this purse because I know a little bit.
Let's just say Wing Sprints is $12,500 for the purse.
Right. So there's $8,000, $9,000 in purse.
Yeah.
So now you're up to 14,000, and you want to add late models.
But nothing's changed. Fine, take the late models out.
Where are you going to make money? All I'm saying is they got those
Run
bombers.
2 classes.
Yeah, run
You're
2
gonna
classes then.
You're going to have a solid amount. I mean, yeah, you might not sell quite as many hot dogs or quite as many beers because the night's going to go a little bit faster, but guess what?
I didn't mind that in PA. In PA, they ran 358 sprint cars, 410 sprint cars. That was the race.
And they ran the 410s first. And guess what? Everybody left after the 410s.
Yeah. Now, listen.
No, they ran, when I went, 358s first. Or no, they ran
They ran 410s first. That's
410s first. But nobody left after the 410s.
well, there was still a good crowd watching.
And it was 30
358s.
degrees. I was surprised. People didn't leave.
You have to.
They're used to that
Your
shit.
whole thing is you got to get fans in the stands. Let me tell you something right now.
Oh yeah, you
the
gotta
new
get
people.
fans in the stands, but I don't think it has to. I think it has to do with relevance more so than motherfucking having a stock car class and a sport mod class, because that's what you're blaming right now. You're blaming bombers and sport mods. Or are you blaming modifieds too?
Why are you even asking me? I'm not going to get to explain it. So why are you fucking even asking me?
Because I'm replying to you. It's a conversation.
I didn't. You replying to nothing. I didn't get to say shit. I'm explaining to you that you say that you bring the new fans in. That's going to build your whole dirt track scene. The new fan, the mom and dad and the kid that show up to race, hey, we have nothing to do. Let's check this out Saturday night. When they're out there with 5 fucking divisions and 3 of them are shit, they're not coming back.
What 3 of them are shit to you?
Well, 3 is probably a little light. Bombers, pure stocks, dwarf cars. I mean,
mods,
let's be honest.
pure stocks.
Let's be honest. Since the short track showed up, mini sprints.
Mini sprints are a piss break now.
Yeah,
back on
they're
the,
a piss
on the
break
small
now.
Track. If they're on the big track, they're not necessarily a piss break. You know,
They
you're
started-
going to have some people that are like, oh, great, the bumblebees are out, and then we're going to go take a piss. But those are they're going to be the naysayers.
As long as
anyways.
they're on little tracks, mini sprints are a shit show. We're putting mini sprints in this. They started doing some fucking mini stock. They tried revamping mini stocks
Well,
last
like
year
this
in some
last
way.
Saturday.
Oh, yeah, the front wheel drive class.
Oh, God. Those
Yep.
are so bad.
So,
See, even you admit
But
to
that's
it.
the only class, the front wheel drive class is the only class that is a bomber anymore because you can actually go to a junkyard and build one. That's why Cougars and Impalas and Monte Carlos and all this shit was a bomber, because they were in junkyards in the 80s. I mean, the modern bomber isn't a bomber. The modern bomber is a fucking front wheel drive Dodge Neon or fucking something like that. That's
The
what's in
modern
junkyard.
bomber, yeah.
So in the junkyards. That's why they're so big, because you can build one for $800.
But they're not very big.
Well, they're slow. They're horrible racing. I mean, it's,
But so are pure stocks.
yeah.
I mean, but okay. So like this last Saturday.
So are bombers.
Like this last Saturday, it was
Yeah.
sprint cars, modified, sport
Yeah.
mods,
Yeah.
pure stocks, and then 2 classes of micros.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, I almost call the micros like one class at that point.
Real simple.
Well, I mean,
You get rid of the. I'll make an argument for the IMCA modifieds for
Well, right.
Saturday.
It's to most
Sport
people,
mods?
that's a top class. You got to
Sport
understand.
mods, Fridays. Micros, Fridays. If they're on the short track.
Then who's
If you-
going to come Friday?
The same people that came Saturday, the family, because that's all that there is.
Families,
See, here's my
families.
argument to the racetracks, because the racetracks say, well, we're going to lose money if we split them up. You make the same amount of money, because the same amount of people that came for Saturday to see those divisions are just family. That family's going to show up Friday. You're just making the money on different days. You're not losing
But
money.
they're paying the bomber shit, probably. They're paying the sport mod shit.
oh yeah,
probably.
$80, $90 to
They're
win.
paying
probably.
both the micros shit, or they give them trophies. I mean,
No,
Micros are $500 to win. I don't know.
Outlaws?
Well, I don't know.
That's a Canyon.
Yeah, that's a Canyon.
Doug Gabbard stepped up to the plate, paid $500 to win.
The Power 600 series, it was only $250 to win when they last time they were at Canyon.
Talking
So
like $30 a star or something to pit pass.
I'm sure it's 30, 40, 50 bucks. to
50
start,
bucks,
something like
50
that.
bucks a start.
50.
I don't know if that's how it is now.
But what I'm saying is they pay those divisions all shit.
Yeah.
Probably the sport mods too.
Yeah.
So that's where they're making their money.
I
And
heard
that-
a sport mod guy told me he made $90 for, I can't remember if it was second or third place, but regardless, second or third place, they still don't win. But
yeah, that's where they're,
$90, under a $100 bill. It's less than a
that's where
$100
they're
bill.
paying the purses though. Is with those people because they can't get fans.
But so,
Understandable. So what he's trying to argue is that if you do
You're
just the
saying
Saturday
they're getting no
show,
fans.
Let me
because
hear what he's gonna say.
you're saying they're getting no fans because of their show.
Yeah.
Like it's not appealing, all that. I'm saying
It's too long.
I mean, it was over by 10:30, 11.
No, we were out by 10:30 or 11. There was still two. There was a Sport Mods. There was the Bombers. There was still two.
No, we watched the Bomber, I thought.
No, we didn't.
watch
Okay.
Bombers.
So it was till 12 o'clock. But then at the same time, a new person could just leave. I'm saying there's not enough new
And they're
people.
not coming back.
Well-
If they're leaving early, they're not coming back next Saturday because they didn't like what they saw if they left early.
Well, nobody liked what they saw at the hippity hoppity.
And that's what I was getting to. So if you're gonna fucking waste everybody's time with these filler divisions, the last thing you need to be doing is wasting even more time with hippity hoppities and motherfucking Easter egg hunts and all this bullshit.
There wasn't even a fucking Easter bunny there.
And then they told them they can only have one golden egg.
Yeah.
Put
I'm
the
looking
other
for
ones
all the
back.
golden eggs.
Yeah, that's where's the competition in socialism? They're teaching them.
I'm at a
socialism.
racetrack. I'm here to win. Whether I'm a fan or I'm a race car driver,
Or I'm
I
an
want
Easter egg
all the
hunter.
golden eggs.
Yeah, all the fucking golden eggs.
You know, this is a,
And there's no running, no pushing, and no shoving.
Okay, so hold on. That's what they said. You were assessing what I was saying. What do you think I'm saying
What do I think you're saying?
about this whole deal here?
yeah. You never finished.
Yeah.
What were you telling me? You said what he's saying.
He's saying
I'm saying so. So what he's saying is you have all the money in the back gate
right.
on Saturday night with your pure stocks, all your 5 or 6 divisions that are junk in your mind.
Right.
And that's what's paying the sprint car purse, the late model purse,
Right.
or
Now-
even a modified purse.
or modified purse. Now, I do see both sides of the spectrum here because if you put double the amount of asses in the stands for just sprint cars and late models, we'll call it for lack of better terms, sprint cars and late models, you double the amount of people through the front gate. It might kind of even out as far as
You're hoping
It doesn't.
Front
you're
gate is
hoping.
there.
You're hoping the front gate is there.
If you're
It's a
filling,
big hope in a not a saturated area.
You know what you're gonna get as far as car count within 2 to 5 cars
every week.
every week because you know where they've been as far as car count goes.
if your filler
You don't
divisions
know
are,
about.
if your filler divisions are
Can I get a
paying,
word in?
you
He's
got to
talking for.
I'm just
I'll
kidding.
defend you. He's been talking for a minute.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
If you're filling,
Your
I didn't
assessment,
interrupt
your
you.
assessment.
I
Your
didn't
assessment.
interrupt you. That's rare around
You
these
did.
parts. If your filler divisions are paying your sprint car and late model and modified purses, it doesn't make it.
I just want to interrupt you. Keep going.
It doesn't. It doesn't make a difference if they're doing it on Friday or Saturday. You take what you made on Friday from the filler divisions and you carry it over to Saturday.
2 nights of operation.
It's
2 times the staff.
It's
two-
gonna be the
2
same
times
length.
water,
2 times the insurance.
2 times the insurance.
it's going to be the same length.
Two
That's
times
monthly.
The gas in the
Electricity.
generator. No, 2 times the gas in the generators out here.
Diesel.
It's the same.
Well, there's a couple
time
tracks
frame.
out here that.
If it's a big generator, it's diesel, which is
the-
cheaper around
It's
here.
the same
I'll-
time frame.
Yeah, it's cheaper than
Your
gasoline.
generator is going to run the exact same amount of time if it was
So you're
between
still
2
paying
days
double,
and 1 night.
though.
How are you paying double for
You're having to
something?
pay to run it another night. You're having to pay to hire a whole staff another night. You're
I
having to
guarantee
pay.
you most of that staff's volunteer. At least they all bitch like they are.
It's not even worth to run the other night. You're saying in your perfect world, just cut those divisions and let those people who want to race bombers and micros be the fans of the sprint car and late models, which is not a bad option actually.
When I'm,
Maybe there's a few people in the pits that should be in the stands.
when I'm saying
There's a
is
lot
your
of people in the
two-
pits that
Pits
should be in the stands.
So that would probably get rid of that fascism. Great.
I would be.
But that's a lot of money out of the promoter's pocket.
I know,
Right.
You're banking on the fan.
That's half.
And then the track down the street, your competitor is like, "Oh, we'll run y'all.
Yeah, we'll run the front wheel
Yeah.
drive class.
Yeah, we'll run bombers. He wants to cut
Yeah.
bombers and sport mods. Okay.
It doesn't matter whether it's 2 days or 5 days. It comes out to the same time frame. The generator's going to run the same amount of time.
An
you have
extra
to.
day.
What does that matter if
You gotta pay
you're
to
not
run
adding
it.
on an extra 20 hours of run time? It doesn't matter. It comes out
Do
exactly
they
the
run
same.
it? Do they run it just that night and then turn
That's if it
off?
runs. That's if it even runs.
So
That's
what
true.
is there? I didn't know the generator would be a topic of discussion.
I didn't either.
Well, let's just say there's not a generator. Let's just say running electricity like in this house.
Same
If you gotta
amount of
run
time.
it but
By the way, I actually really do like that racetrack. So
What racetrack?
I like it.
I already know what we're talking about. What racetrack?
Central Arizona.
Oh, Canyon.
Canyon, where the generator. There's always been a
okay.
generator. For the past 20 years, there's been a generator issue.
Okay, so like if we had the lights off, if we were gone tonight and here tomorrow, your light bill would be one amount. But if we were here tonight and tomorrow,
It would be the same
be
amount.
double
No,
that
it wouldn't.
amount because you had to run it 2 nights.
Well, if we only ran it 2 nights, I guess. But
I'm saying if you only ran 1 night, it's going to be one amount. If you run it 2 nights on the same weekend,
you're right because
it's going to double.
You have to pay to be on the grid no matter what per month and all that stuff. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
It's
If
2
you're-
nights of operational fees,
If
and the
you're running-
insurance is really the bigger one.
The insurance is what, $2,500 a night? I don't know what it costs, but
If you're running just
If
for
they have
easy
insurance.
math, just for easy math.
If they have
if you're running
insurance,
10
yeah.
hours
Underline that.
Friday,
Exactly.
if you're running 10 hours Friday and you're running 10 hours Saturday, whereas you'd only be running one night at 10 hours on everybody raced on Saturday, you'd have a point. But that's not the way it would work because the time is getting cut way in half. So you're running 5 hours Friday, 5 hours Saturday. It still comes out to the same
You're
amount
saying
of
the
time.
duration.
The duration. It comes out exactly the same, so the cost comes out the same.
If they don't have an Easter egg hunt.
It makes no difference. It makes it fuck. They can have an Easter egg hunt if I'm out of there by 8:30.
I think really what you are saying is do what Lincoln and Williams Grove and all them do is cut all these little bullshit classes, throw their ass out,
Get them out.
and let the strong survive.
If you want to be an elite racetrack, you have to run elite
Anglo-Saxon.
divisions, and that's it. You have to be Kokomo.
agreed.
Kokomo has stock cars.
Yeah, I know, but you know,
And they 3-wheel.
but it's rare.
Yeah, but that's cool. When you watch a stock car 3-wheel, that's cool.
That's something I did notice with like Lincoln and even Baps. You know, they had one stock car class.
But that stock car class was fast.
Right, it ain't no joke.
They hauled ass.
Yeah, but
They didn't make more
And-
noise
and-
than what they were fast. They
and see
hauled
what,
ass.
What Lincoln and them does, and Baps, is they don't have bombers per se, or front wheel.
They have a
drive, or
stock
sport-
car class.
Well, no, that's another point. They don't have like sport mods or anything. The only modified they got is the big block modified. I mean, they got a 358 and a leader up for the.
But they're basically like, they have their
Right.
nights.
They got
anyways.
the crate mode. Yeah, exactly. But they have more divisions of sprint cars. Like the Sportsman sprint
They have
car
the
is
Sportsman.
cheap. It's cheap. You can get into that for as much as you could get into a bomber or a freaking sport mod. They're cheap. You can get into the sprint car division at about a
They're pretty much-
$15,000 level. You know,
15,000 is like, you'd have
a lot
nice
of it. Yeah,
one.
well, I'm talking about
You
when
better
I price when I price vehicles, I price them to win because I don't think people want to get.
That's a winner right
to
there.
be out there.
$15,000 sportsman, you're a
Yeah.
winner.
Well, I heard they got some can have 25 in them, but
Well, they're full of shit.
the motors,
I
people
never
will
saw
pay
one when I was back
People
there.
will pay 10 grand for 5 horsepower
Yeah.
because they can't blame themselves. That's the biggest problem with you damn racers. Is the last person you blame is you. You'll blame a motor, you'll blame a wing, you'll blame a tire compound.
True.
And that's how the pricing of the racing worlds went up. Is people can't say it's them as to why they're slow. So people have spent all this money in developing and making or paying for, you know.
But to be fair, sometimes you know, sometimes it is something else.
Break.
Sometimes.
Break.
Would you get a dirty Snapchat? You gotta go rub
No.
one off or what?
No.
You gotta pee.
I do have to pee.
Oh.
Oh, I don't want to slam
Everybody
that.
was in agreement. Let's get it on.
Are we back?
I'm back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
So we were talking about small penises and stuff, and you.
Oh yeah. So just to get off the subject, little tracks in Arizona micros used to be a premier division in Arizona. Little tracks ruined that. Little tracks need to go away forever.
Wait, I have an argument.
Okay.
Delta's a little track.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up
Lane
because
Co is a little track.
I'm glad you brought that up because
My only thing I'm going to say is small, flat, skinny tracks ruin micro racing.
You know what
high
it is?
bank.
I figured this out. You know what it is? He already knows what I'm going to say, but he wants to be the one to say it first.
No, this
That's
is
what
what
it
I
is.
have an opinion
This
of.
is what it is.
I'll read your mind. Cool.
It's not hard to figure out where I'm going to go.
No, this is where my opinion is because I know what you're kind of saying, but what I think is that micros on higher bank little tracks,
They're
with
badass.
some speeds, fucking cool.
There's been people out here in the state that said that these little tracks were built because based on California micro tracks. Maybe that's true, but they missed. They missed so far. These tracks are too narrow. They're way too flat. They're way too short. These are go-kart tracks.
That's what it looked like.
That these micros are racing on. These are Delta, Lanco. If we do end up running at AKA, those are good micro tracks.
Well,
They had to put a fucking tire in the middle of the racetrack last weekend
the
because
water
there was
bottle.
standing water.
There was standing water.
Well, I talked
Right.
about
That's
this shit.
ridiculous.
I talked
That's
about
ridiculous.
it. In
It's
the video.
insane. It's insane. It's just follow the leader on the bottom, and it's never going to build a top. You might have a one random night where somebody gets it to work, but it doesn't actually build a top. You need to build them wider, you need to build them longer, and you need to build them with more bank. For instance, if Canyon was to build a proper little track for micros, it would be the whole perimeter of the infield.
Agreed.
It would be the whole inside of the infield. That's
Agreed.
it. It'd be bank, it'd be wide. This is just follow the leader, who the fuck can hit who the hardest, and that's it.
And that makes
Agreed.
money for whoever sells the parts.
Truth.
That makes money for whoever sells the parts.
And we only have one micro parts dealer
And
out
I don't know about the other. I don't
One
know.
parts dealer out here.
I don't know about the other micro tracks. I only saw the one at Central Arizona, but
Believe it or not, that track's actually bigger than the one at Canyon.
well, that wouldn't be that bad.
Straight away wise.
That's
think-
because that was their second try at it.
Right. And they still missed.
I
Still
think-
missed.
I think the
By a
deal-
long shot.
The deals
Yeah.
with Delta and Lanco and all these other nice tracks is they're purpose built for
Right.
micros.
Right. And they're good racetracks.
Fuck, Lanco's unreal. And Delta, but those tracks also have high car counts.
I saw an onboard video of Austin Quick at Lanco, and that was one of the coolest micro videos I've ever seen. You want to talk about being on the
Tire
fucking
change.
fence?
Oh, dude.
Oh, just on the fence in a micro.
You can literally
no
ride the
roof.
fence. Look at CV. I've been there. I was there. The banking is the freaking wall.
Right, right.
At
Like
the
Tulare.
very tip top, it's the fucking wall.
Like everybody makes these like everybody thought that was just crazy that CV did that. What like how
It
many
wasn't
times
that hard.
How many times has that happened at Tulare? There's lots of video of that happening at Tulare.
But it wasn't Logan CV.
And it wasn't Keith Coons Motorsports.
It wasn't Mobile One.
It wasn't Mobile One.
Bulldoze the little tracks in Arizona.
And it wasn't National.
Okay, I'm done with
Easy
that.
as that.
It wasn't
I'm done
National.
with it.
If you want to build a little track, it's specifically a little track, and that's the
And
only
you
track
could-
there.
You could build a lot of. I think what the deal is with these micro tracks is they're looking at it exactly how I just explained it. Exactly why there's bombers. Exactly why they're doing the 25K micro races. Is they're thinking in the back of their mind, they're really cheap. People can build them, and I can make some money and pay them really little.
Yeah, and they're not staying cheap. That's
No,
the
they're
thing,
not
though.
staying
They're
cheap.
not
But
staying
it's cheap to get out there. That's what they're banking on is the pit pass.
You're not
money.
going to win. But it's
Micros-
They're
easy to get out
not. They're
there.
not. What I'm saying is they're probably not giving too much effort into building a little track.
Right.
They're just like, let's make a little circle that they can get around.
And they're going to
fucking
give us
throw 'em out there.
$35 through the back gate.
Exactly, and we can pay them 150 to win and
And you know what
30
the
to
shame
start.
about that is for decades they only had big tracks out here, and the race before sprint cars was always micros. And now look at them, like you said, now they're a piss break, and you know
They were even a class at the Western World.
right, yeah, they were. Jeff Henry ran double duty.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jeff. Yeah,
Shout out to Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff's a good dude, man. Jeff's solid people. But now, like you said, they're just a piss break. And
Here.
and they're not
Anytime they're on
listening.
a small track.
And they're not listening. They're not listening. How many fans have we seen on Facebook? How many racers have we seen on Facebook said this little track shit in Arizona sucks? And it's like they never even heard anything. They're like, oh, we're gonna make it better. Okay, we're
Yeah,
like 4 years
they
into
keep
it.
saying, well, we put more banking into it, and you show up and you're like, that's the same fucking track I
Right.
saw last week.
Right.
It sounds like y'all are kind of asking for something with a top groove.
I'm asking to get rid of
Multiple grooves, please.
At least top, because here's the deal. Lanco's very top dominant. I don't know how much you've seen there. It's
100%,
very top dominant.
100%.
Delta
That's a racetrack.
Delta's pretty top dominant too. But what I'm saying,
Delta can make 2 grooves though.
with micros though, you get a top dominant track. At least you can pull some sliders.
Yeah, I was gonna say sliders.
'Cause sliders is what people want to see.
That's what
That's the
wows
action.
people.
That's the action in micros. There's sliders.
Wow, that was close. Or,
And
wow,
they
that was
can-
dirty. Or,
They can bang a little bit more than the full size sprint cars because of how they're.
because it doesn't send them out there with the cows.
Right. So I mean, I got not in trouble, but into an altercation with the Bell crew over his dirty, purposeful sliders. But you can literally go in there. You can beat and
The
bang with the
Bell crew.
micro.
And you know, and it's not even if it built a top groove, it still needs to be wider. Because now there's really only 2 guys in Arizona that could start from last or in the mid pack and get to the front without just fucking wrecking everybody.
Don't say it.
It's Colton.
Don't-
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Hey man, it's the
When
truth.
he drops down.
Hey, you got to give the dude his respect.
That's when everybody spins out.
All right.
And our
Like in
boy,
the AFCS
our
race.
boy, Jarrett Martin. Jarrett Martin. Oh man,
Jarrett
my
Martin's
boy.
a wheel man.
Jarrett Martin. He works with Keith Kunz now. This motherfucker just flew in one day, won the race, beat Colton, won the race on the little track, and flew right the fuck out back to Keith Kunz. Jarrett's solid, people. I love Jarrett.
Jared's solid.
Jarrett, please come back. I miss the shit out of you.
Jared's put time and effort into learning the car and making sure setup
Jarrett
is right.
is a great example of I'm going to come up with my own original thoughts and not follow the crowd. And that's why he wins every single weekend.
But now he's part of the crowd.
I don't care. Jarrett can join Jeff Gordon if he wants.
Jarrett has the drive and the demeanor to learn and understand how
Ambition.
the cars work. Ambition
Yep.
is a good word to describe him. Jarrett's Jarrett's main focus in life is racing, open wheel racing.
Jarrett is everything you love. That is a kid that didn't come from money, and that is a kid that put all of his success from his brain. That all came from here. That
But
did not
now
come
he's
from the wall.
dormant in Keith Kunz.
He's not dormant. Keith Kunz hired him because he saw what Jarrett was, and Jarrett's young, and you know Jarrett has a long way to go. If he's this good now, he can.
Jarrett's making connections.
Right, exactly.
making connections right
networking, and
To
the-
be what though?
well, that's a great point. So Jarrett,
knows?
I hope I'm
To be the next Keith Kunz, maybe.
Well, I'm hoping I'm not going to step on his toes by saying this, but Jarrett really doesn't have interest in being behind the wheel anymore. Jarrett loves making the calls. He loves being the crew chief guy. There was last year for probably like the last 5 or 6 races.
He has that mentality too. Like he was that kid in the math class that wanted to know why do these numbers add up? Okay, I'm gonna do the research as to know like why these numbers add up.
Right. Why is it this way?
Yeah. Explain it to me. And now Jarrett's bringing things in full circle, and he's understanding things, and he can explain it to you why these numbers add up.
Right. And
he enjoys that.
He's the nicest kid too.
That's his enjoyment, is showing you that this is how freaking smart I am.
So last year, there was about 5 or 6 races where Jarrett didn't race his car. He put a different guy in the car every week. And the reason he did that was because he wanted to show so as a driver, most people are like, oh, I want to jump in different cars and show him I can win in anything. Jarrett went the other way. Jarrett put a bunch of different people in his cars because he wanted to show that no matter who I put in my car, I can set it up good enough where it'll always win. And he didn't lose once. It won every single time he put a different guy in the car. We're talking modified sprint cars, micros. He put a different guy in it from a different division every time, and he won every single one of them.
And like he said earlier, this is not a family of money.
Right.
It's not like they have an unlimited
But
budget.
what is that saying about the driver? Is that saying?
Oh, he put
what
good dudes
just-
in it.
Well, I
There's-
understand.
but Jarrett's not trying to say, hey, I'm Steve Kinzer.
Carl Kinzer.
Or Carl. No, he's
Right,
saying
what
he's,
you're
from
saying.
from a crew chief side.
he's
yeah.
saying he
Yeah,
is Carl
Carl.
Kinzer.
So that's
Right.
what I'm saying. What does that say about the driver?
Well,
in the modern vehicle, is it just car?
the
Yeah, does Darren Pittman step in the car and it drives itself?
Is that what you're
Boom.
saying?
No,
what
what
you're
I'm
saying.
saying. What I'm saying is the guys he put in the car were not slouches. He didn't put bad dudes in the car. But the difference is that when you go from driver to driver, it's easy when you're a crew. Not easy, but it's when you're a crew chief for the same guy over and over. You get used to his habits. When you switch drivers every week, like Jarrett did, you have to adapt to what he wants and his habits. And to do that and still get the car up front. Look at Ty. Ty started last in the main event and won it.
Started last in the main event, won it.
Yeah, and won it in Jarrett's car. All these drivers want different things.
And shout out to Ty.
Shout out to Ty.
He won the sprint car main event that night as well.
Yeah, he did. He won. Ty Mahako. Good dude.
Headed back to Indiana.
Yeah.
May 15th.
But
Lawrenceburg's going to be his first race, by the way.
Jarrett, as a crew chief, was able to adapt to whatever that driver wanted to get him to the front, no matter what. And that's awesome. That's good shit. That's a guy that uses his head. He's just not saying, well, that's what that guy does, so.
He's not saying, loose is fast.
Right.
Loose is fast. I don't care who you are.
Right
loose
on.
is fast.
When you get to that level of understanding, do you keep everything you know to yourself?
I doubt it. I think if you ask Jarrett anything, he'd tell you whatever you wanted to know.
He'll tell
I
you
don't
some
think he'd-
things.
I don't
Yeah, that's
think
what I'm
he'd
thinking.
keep it
He'll
in.
tell you some things.
That's what I'm thinking.
Jarrett did tell me.
I think there's few secrets that
I think
Jarrett
those
may have.
few secrets are very important ones.
Jarrett did tell me, he said, I've only opened my book to 2 people. One of them was me. I'm not going to say who the other one was. And I'm still waiting for that book to open, by the way. So, there you go. He'll tell you what you need to know. And then maybe for a few people, he'll tell you what you want to know.
But did he not open it up because maybe he was concerned, man, this guy might be a threat?
Yeah,
Do you?
that's what I'm
Of course,
saying.
yeah.
Yeah,
Of course, yeah.
That's the deal.
Yeah, and he did open his book to me. He put it out there. He opened it for me, and I was looking at it. But I can't remember this shit. I was looking for copies, but he didn't make copies.
You didn't have your phone.
I didn't have my phone out. It
Take
was probably
pictures.
dead.
I would think if you find a competitive advantage in a competitive sport, you would not want to give that advantage away.
Well,
I don't know. On such a small scale here in the local scene.
I'm
like,
sure there's basics you would want to give out so you're not a dick, but there's probably some advanced things that that you figured out that took you time and effort to figure out that you just ain't going to let it go for free.
Well, I think it's who you are. If Josh knows something and Kyle asks, Josh will probably share it to him. Vice versa.
Brothers.
Jarrett and me, when it comes in the racing community, Jarrett became one of my best friends in racing, and so he would show me. But it's who you are, I'm not gonna open, if Dale Eliason, if I came up across something, which Dale would probably find it before I did, but if I came across something, I would
Dale's
show it.
pretty smart.
Dale's smart. I would show it to Dale.
But you gonna ask if some guy just walks up randomly in the pit?
No, absolutely not.
I don't know. I'm pretty open. I'm kind of like, look, this is what I do.
That's why he's in limiteds.
Well, that's why I'm in a micro and he's in a sprint car, though. So
You got your hero cards in the works, though. Right?
Yeah, yep. Thanks to Ben Thrasher, he's gonna hook us up with some pictures.
I'm not gonna do shit.
No,
I'm just playing.
we're gonna take care of him.
I do not design hero cards for a living. Leave me alone.
leave me be. All right,
Not
next
for a living,
subject.
just
What
on
else
side.
you got?
I mean, unless it pays $500 per design.
Kelsey Foley.
What about her?
Isn't she Zach Madrid's boyfriend or
Girlfriend.
She was on the hammer.
yeah, match race with Haley Deegan? What do you think?
Kelsey Foley against Haley Deegan would be
In a
that would be a
IMCA
bad day
modified.
for Haley Deegan.
I'm not so sure.
In the
I was-
same equipment? Like we're not talking monster equipment versus Kelsey
No,
Foley?
we're talking about even fairness.
Oh yeah, they're a
I'm not so sure I liked or enjoyed watching Kelsey Foley whoop up on Zach Madrid because Zach Madrid's probably beat me more times in the sprint car than I beat him. So that might say something about my driving. So
Maybe that might say something about his. He's the one that got beat.
But he's beat me more times in a sprint car than I beat him.
Yeah, but for Zach was getting bounced off of a lot in that main event. Zach didn't have the greatest main
Zach
event
did
there.
start pretty far back.
Maybe Kelsey Foley needs to get a sprint car.
That would be
Kelsey
cool.
Foley needs it.
I'd like to see
Kelsey
that.
Foley, Haley Deegan, sprint car. Bam.
I'd like to see
Corey
that.
Eliason, Lewis Hamilton, sprint car.
Bam.
What do y'all think of Corey Eliason?
I'm a
You never
total
hear
fan.
about him though, really. You
like
never.
You never hear about him.
You never hear about him, but he goes.
He's a front runner with the Outlaws.
I was in Florida when he came to East Bay, fucking past Mark Smith last lap. Mark Smith dominates East Bay in 360s. And then fucking Outlaws and All Stars, he just won.
I shouldn't
And
say.
I heard that he's the kind of guy that has worked on his own shit since like 19.
Well, and that's what I was going
build
to
his
get.
own stuff.
I don't want to say I've followed him since he was in the California, Delta,
Scene.
Plaza Park, all that kind of scene. But I saw his name quite often at the front. At the front. He was always at the front. And then, he kind of ventured off, got into the sprint car deal. And then, kind of next thing you know, he's in the Roth Motorsports car. And now he's running World of Outlaws and so on and so forth.
Now he's
And
in the
then-
26 car.
Right.
The Roth
Yeah,
car,
today,
nobody
yes.
ever stays in it, it seems like.
Nobody, no.
Well, I
But-
heard there's a bet on the days for Darren Pittman, but that's just insane if he goes south.
Regardless.
Dennis and Teresa, keep going.
Corey Eliason is a freaking. If you can wheel a mini sprint in those Plaza Park, Delta, Stockton, those racetracks, you've got a future. You have got a future if you can find that one person with the financial backing. I'm not saying that Corey has. I'm not saying Corey has all the financial backing, but he's had some help.
It's a good point because I made the Aaron Reitzel point earlier.
But
Are you
Corey's
saying-
earned the help.
I understand. Well, I don't know how much that relates to Reitzel, but what I'm saying is, are you also saying that there's other people also in that micro scene that were just as good as Eliason that didn't have those opportunities or backing that could be doing
No.
what he's doing too?
Well, yes, there are some guys.
Who's some guys?
Reitzel, no.
Right.
Who's some guys? The
Who's some
owner,
guys that
the
can
owner of
be doing
D1.
what
What's his
last-
name? I can't think of his name anymore.
I don't know his
Hapigan?
name.
Not Hagen.
Yeah, Hagopian.
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 I know, weird,
Yeah,
right?
it's strange.
You
The
know,
whole tire.
I don't want to throw Cohen Shaw on this anymore, but Cohen Shaw did have a really good run there in the mini sprint deal there for quite some time. But this kind of going off subject a little bit. Frank Flood, he tried out the whole sprint car deal, didn't happen. Did not happen.
Oklahoma's very unique. When you
Apparently.
get into the I'm just gonna say it. You get into the Oklahoma Texas region, the people running shit have their favorites, and they get in my opinion they get some help, and everybody looks away, especially when you're selling more micro chassis than anyone in the history of Oklahoma.
Well, I mean, Jason McDougal won 3 Golden Drillers in one night. That was
Well, his transfer sprint car racings went really well. I mean,
very well.
and you watch
He's
him
with the
run
Steve Phillips deal and
besides the whole LH McDougal stuff, I mean McDougal, when you watch him run a non-wing sprint car, I mean
He's
catches
on the hammer.
your eye.
He's on the hammer.
I mean they could be filming a group of cars in front of him, and all of a sudden there's this car in the background just throwing it in 3 cars deeper than
Agreed.
everyone else. It's like, who the fuck is? That's the first time I noticed it. There's somebody in the background just throwing it 3 cars
you're like,
deeper.
who is that? He's just driving around deep sideways,
Right.
and holy shit, he's getting after it.
And then they say Jason McDougal, and it's like, oh, okay, fuck, he's transferring well, and that's non-wing. He's really a better wing guy, at least micro-wise,
But has he had an opportunity in a wing sprint car? I don't think he has.
They're kind of sticking him. Now he's got the Silver Crown ride.
No.
Silver Crown's
Big
getting
deal.
some momentum back to it, Silver Crown used to be a big fucking deal, dude.
Yeah, if you were in Silver Crown, you were going to IndyCar.
Or, IndyCar racers ran Silver Crown when they weren't running IndyCars.
Right.
Because Silver Crown was paying like $30,000, $40,000 in the 60s, 70s. That's big. They were paying way more money than stock car racing, wasn't it?
They
And
were
World Outlaws
the
wasn't even
premier
around.
class for USAC.
Right.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They were the premier class of USAC. Now it's almost like a
A nostalgic thing. Novelty.
yes, it's like a hey, we're gonna go to a fancy steak dinner. Like you and I or Andrew probably do that once every 5 years. We're gonna go to this fancy steakhouse where every steak costs $100. it's just a once in a great while deal. It's just like a hey, we want to treat ourselves kind of deal.
Well, they took him to Williams Grove. They don't really run them on asphalt much at all anymore.
Good.
Really. I mean, but they used to go back and forth. I think the Pinnacle.
They were enjoyable at PIR.
Silver Crown was doing real well until they hit that fucking New Age car.
That New Age car just
destroyed
it. Yeah.
Destroyed.
Everybody was like, "What the fuck is that thing?"
And they was trying to go all these fucking NASCAR tracks and run 1.5 miles.
Silver Crown Racing is only around because of tradition. It needs to go away.
I think it needs to get glorified again.
It needs to go away.
It needs to get big again. It's the 100-lapper. I mean, they put on some pretty good shows at Williams Grove. I mean, they still run the miles, which is a big deal. I mean, running those mile tracks is a big deal.
Yeah, fuck it. I hate that. Go away.
I think you just don't see it. You don't see any future.
I see a lot of fucking miles races where they go to the bottom and they hold it real nice.
That is pretty.
And that's boring.
It is pretty boring.
You just hold it down there at the bottom. It's all about who can go the slowest rather than the fastest.
Right.
Those are the worst races.
They are.
Who can go the slowest rather than the fastest? That's bullshit.
There's been a few.
Nobody enjoys those races.
There's been a few good ones, but it's few in highlight videos. The highlight videos is good. Like they'll show a race here, but the Silver Crown race at Eldora last year was badass. I mean, it was really good.
But that's a really good racetrack.
Terre Haute. I mean, all the racetracks are good. I mean, we're talking about miles. I mean, yeah, cut the miles out, whatever. Run the Terre Hautes, the Eldoras. Imagine Silver Crown at like Calistoga or Tulare or something like that. Run them on a short track again. That might be pretty damn interesting, 100-lapper.
I have something I want to talk about.
Oh, no. What is it?
I didn't see that coming.
Is that really on the whim?
I didn't really read all that, but I don't
You got Jarrett Martin?
But this isn't live.
I got Jarrett Martin on the text, yeah.
Jarrett Martin on the text. Look out.
Hey, check it out. Jarrett said he's running a micro tomorrow.
No way, in Indiana?
With the Cowie.
Look out.
Look out, yeah. Let's ask him where this race is. No, well, I'm not gonna.
He just needs to fly in and be on the show, except he probably will not like.
Well, here, just look at it. Just look at it real quick.
He probably doesn't like you.
Just read it real quick.
Just read it out loud.
Okay.
Yeah,
no, we probably don't want to read it out loud.
No, yeah,
you
don't want to read it out loud.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't see it coming.
Somebody from Keith Coons Motorsports came up to me at Lanco and was like, "Hey, I love what you're doing."
Kind
of shocked me.
He probably
kind of shocked me. I'm thinking so. Yeah, I'm thinking somebody with Keith Coons who was like real big. I thought it was going to be a fight situation because I'm thinking something's about to go down. Guy from Keith Coons.
All those dudes are probably tired of fucking working for him.
Well, no, they didn't say all that. I don't know where that's coming from, but anyways, you wanted to say something.
What I wanted to talk about was
well, we'll make this the last subject.
Okay.
Yeah, because I want to go to the bar.
Indiana sprint car racing should not start until like June or July.
Fuck you, bro.
Well, I wanted to start sooner. I wanted to start sooner. But every fucking race rains out right here at the beginning of the season. It's a rain out. It's a rain out. It's a rain out. It's a rain out. Rain out, rain out, rain out.
They raced at Brownstown. I mean, that was back in March.
But I'm paying $135 or whatever the hell it was for a Flow Racing TV, and I only get to see a third of the races, 2/3 of the races.
Maybe you should be asking.
That's a great point because that's a monthly service.
It is a monthly service.
You pay monthly and then you don't see one race that month.
At least
exactly. They all rain out.
Yeah.
So some of them do postpone for later on.
Right.
Some. Not all.
But you don't get no rain check for that shit if you cancel your deal. Yeah. You got to pay another $100 and whatever.
Yeah. I planned this Friday night out watching Lawrenceburg instead of here shooting the shit with you guys, which is still okay. But
let's talk about that for a second.
What?
I know this was gonna be the last second.
No, let's go.
But well, it's not that big of a deal.
The last 30 minutes.
Let's go.
Cut out anyway.
It was just a thought I had. You really get upset about NASCAR, right? And but your example is always the Outlaws are just as good, and the Outlaws should be built up and all that. Where's the non-wing love? What about the USAC guys? USAC guys should just be as famous
I
as
say
outlaw guys.
I say all the time, local, regional, and national drivers across the board, dirt.
Okay, that's true. All right.
I wonder if
I'd bitch the Outlaws out for fucking, like my late model comparison. You know, late model, the World of Outlaws don't have control over late model people. Like there's full-time outlaw racers that run Lucas Oil Series and run late model races wherever they want.
Yeah.
Whereas the World of Outlaw sprint cars, oh no, you're locked into a fucking contract.
Right.
And you
do
have
not
to
go run ASCS National.
Do not go run 100,000 to win World Sprint Car Championship. Can't go short track nationals is what got Jason Sides. You know. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
but I like Jason Side's approach out. He's like, fuck the Outlaws.
well, but he still got sued for that, I believe. So I mean, the
It's
World
still a
Outlaws,
headache. It's a headache he does not
the
want
World
to deal
Outlaw
with.
Sprint Cars likes this situation because they can control these fucking teams with the contract because they have to do that contract to get that fucking tow money. And that's the only way you can make money or stay on tours if you get extra $500 bonus.
Isn't that funny? A series named The Outlaws doesn't like people that are outlaws.
Right.
Right.
Completely anti. And I mean, we
I hate
talked.
this fucking sport.
I think we talked about it. How
I do.
you know, and that's why Sammy Swindell only has 3 championships is because he was an outlaw.
Sammy's a
in those
douche.
days.
Sammy's a douche.
You didn't just run World Outlaw Sprint cars.
He ran
every
other.
week. He ran money races.
Yeah.
You could run 410 sprint cars weekly.
That's what an
somewhere.
outlaw was.
Right.
Is you went where the money was.
Right.
That's how the Outlaws got formed.
Right.
You went where the money was.
Well, and then some people didn't like what the
And there were
Outlaws-
7 to 8 guys who traveled. Okay, we know this one pays what, for lack of better numbers. This one pays 50,000. This one pays 10,000. This one pays 60. You know, all these big numbers, and you're gonna go where the numbers are at.
Well, and
pays.
the Outlaws tried to go to all these big paying shows and say, "Get under our wing." Some of them did, some of them didn't.
Right.
You know, so
Oh, and they're a wing division. That's very good.
Oh yeah.
right, exactly. Kind of like with Vince McMahon when he went around trying to buy up all the local
Yeah, about
wrestling scenes.
WCW.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Yeah.
like regional. You had
And
regional
now-
in Dallas, regional Florida, and he just walked around and just bought them all out.
Bottom all out. Hey, buy your competition, man.
Kind of.
Now he's trying to start up.
Wouldn't that be
He's
something?
trying to beat up the NFL with the XFL
yeah.
again.
Well, no, that's all
it
over.
failed once.
That's all because of Trump, by the way.
Fuck off. I knew that was coming.
Oh.
I knew that was
You know,
coming.
Here
you
we
do know
go.
Vince
I knew
McMahon is
that
one
was
of his
fucking
biggest
coming.
supporters, right?
I knew
Here
that
we
was
go.
coming.
You
Yeah.
do know Linda McMahon is the small business accountant.
Do you know why I love Donald Trump? Because
You do know Colin Kaepernick's going to the XFL, right?
do you know why?
Perfect marketing scheme.
You know why I love Donald Trump?
Oh my god.
Because when Donald Trump was interviewed
No, but
about
I
that,
guarantee you're
I
going to
have
tell us.
glass.
well, I could if people would let me speak.
We're trying to stay away from this.
I just want to say this one point.
Oh
This is
my
why Donald
God.
Trump's the fucking man.
This is what
88 is
this is
never
how
gonna
it
get
always
over.
go. I just want to say this one
88
thing.
is his
Yeah,
lucky
it's always
number.
this one thing. Go ahead.
I have nothing to say.
Okay.
420 is Hitler's birthday.
So,
It's right around the corner. It's a couple hours away.
so
Oh,
You
you can't
fucked up.
say that.
when they
Yesterday.
interviewed Donald Trump about he was being
Let him
blamed.
let him ramble. We might as well just call this out.
He was being blamed for the XFL. Donald Trump said, "I got a great lawsuit out of it." That's when I was like,
Who
"That's my
blamed
man
him for
right
the
there."
XFL?
That's right. Well, they did a documentary about it.
I just
and-
thought it was no. You're talking about USFL.
I don't think so.
Yes.
I don't think so.
Yes.
No,
They tried to-
yeah,
You're talking about
yes.
USFL,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
he
the
did fucking
Canadian
destroy.
league, right? That's
No,
Canadian
it was
shit,
a
right?
competitive league
Oh,
toward
okay.
the NFL in the 80s.
Well, either way, that's why I love it because they were like, they blamed you for this. They said you
He
came
did
in,
fuck it up.
you
He
came
did
in
destroy it.
and you drove it into the ground, and he said, "I got a great lawsuit out of it." That's my
He
boy.
fucking destroyed it.
No fucks
Working
given.
for the man.
He made a lot of money off that lawsuit, and that was the end of that.
NFL paid him to go in there and destroy that series.
I don't like Donald Trump.
I gotta go work on the car. I've got to
I thought
go.
we were going to the bar.
I am going to the bar.
We'll see how far I get here in like the next 10 minutes.
Well, I'm leaving before that, so
Oh wow.
Wait, you're gonna drive?
yeah,
You know how to drive?
yeah.
You hate driving.
I hate driving.
You've only had.
You do it for a living.
You've only had a half.
Well,
a
when you
beer.
have a job.
I can't stand it.
You've only had a half a beer, right?
A beer and a half. Well, this one's gone. 2 beers.
Oh god.
But it's been over the course of almost
I'm
2
not going
hours.
for the beer. I'm going for the potatoes.
And cheese.
That's right.
Anyways, ladies and
What kind
gentlemen.
of bar are you headed to?
Tailgaters. Bell and Reeves.
Bell.
Hashtag tailgaters.
Hashtag sponsorship.
What about Gator Tails?
Gator Tails? I don't know what the fuck that means. That sounds,
Sounds like
a,
something in Florida.
I was going to say, that sounds like a Florida thing.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I guess we'll see you next time here on